Hey guys, this is Gwyned bringing you replays from MPDC 19.7. I am playing my Grixis Zombie Deck, and I'm lost in round 1, and this is round 2 playing Froggery. And let's take a look at my opener. My opponent did win the dice roll, and he did choose, of course, to play first. This is a great opener. Got all my colors, 3 lands, 4 spells. I'm going to need another blue at some point to play the Stitch Strike, but that is just fine. I am running just a single copy of Brimstone Volley. It is helpful to be able to deal with certain creatures, even though it can't be replayed from the graveyard. So my opponent opens with a Goblin Arsonist, which pretty much guarantees he is playing mono red. I don't think any of the other decks are running that. So that could be a pretty tough matchup for me, particularly drawing the Guildgate here. I don't have a turn 2 play, so I went ahead and played the Swamp, and I will go ahead and bump him. Really, the only advantage of that is it makes it seem like I'm a pretty aggressive deck, which might force him to be extra aggressive, and that might end up pushing him to make a mistake. So I think that's a fine play there. So drop him to 17, and he will swing in, obviously, with the Arsonist. And then we'll see if he has a follow-up play. Has an Ashmouth Hound, again, pretty good. Very hard for me to deal with any of my small blockers. Let's see what I'm able to draw into. Alright, so I find a Dead Reveler. Not going to be able to do anything this turn. So he's off to a pretty good start there. He's going to be able to hit me for 3, get me down to 16. Does have a land, and finds a Mog Flunkies as well. Great card if you can keep enough pressure on to be able to attack. The advantage of it, if you can thin out their deck, you can really keep it from being a threat. So let's see what I'm able to do here. Do find a Silent Departure, but here I'm just going to go ahead and Brimstone Volley. The Mog Flunkies kind of keep some of the pressure off me. Obviously, hitting for 6 there would have been very, very painful. So go ahead and get that off the board. Pass the turn back. Obviously, he's going to continue to swing in here, dropping me to 13, and see what his follow-up play is. He just has a Faithful Looting, which is pretty good. Means he has some lands in hand. He is able to discard all lands. Doesn't play a land, interesting, and doesn't have a play, so that's kind of interesting. Would have expected a follow-up play there. Draw into a Rakdos Guildgate. I'm going to go ahead and Silent Departure the Ashmouth Hound again, just trying to buy myself some time. Since I don't really have anything else I can play yet. Next turn I'll go ahead and get the Dead Reveler online, assuming that I don't have any other draws. Have been able to slow him down pretty well, which is good for me. Here, since I knew I was going to play the Dead Reveler, it would have actually been better to go ahead and play this Guild. That was definitely a miss there. Not a huge deal, but it would have been. I am going to be left with a single mana open, and definitely would have been better. Obviously, didn't unleash the Dead Reveler since I want to be able to block. I'll go ahead and swing in with these. Obviously, I'll block the Ashmouth Hound, take my point of damage, and get them both off the board. I'm really just in damage control here, trying to maximize my life total for as long as possible. Goes ahead and recurs the Faithful Looting, and again, just discards 2 mountains. Not sure how flooded he is, but since he's not having follow-up plays, really buying me some time. And now the Dead Reveler is in the graveyard. I'm able to get this Stitch Strike online, which is going to be good for me. Don't play the Transguild here because I want a Forbidden Alchemy, and again, the mistake last time has definitely hurt me a little bit. It hasn't been a big deal, and he's got a Wall of Fire. One of the things this deck is able to do is pump up the Wall of Fire and then fling it, which can definitely be very good. It's a little clunky, but it certainly is a good option for this deck. So do Forbidden Alchemy here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Stitch Strike. I'm dropping the Ghoul Razor in because I can now immediately play it and have 2 Stitch Strikes online, which is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and attack with the first one here, drop him down to 14, and then we'll go ahead and play this one and get the Transguild in there, and could also Faithful Looting, but I think I'm going to wait and see if I can draw something. Obviously, if I Faithful Looting right now, all I do is draw 2 and discard 2, which isn't real great. I'm going to go ahead and block the Goblin Arsonist here. He does another damage to that, so he's done 2. So basically he's doing a 2-for-1 again, which again I'm fine with. Has a Forge Devil, does another point of damage on it, and still hasn't killed it, and goes ahead and pumps up the Wall of Fire, and then finally flings it. So you can see, though, it took the amount of mana and cards it took for him to take out that Stitch Strike was definitely, spent a ton of resources just taking out one of my creatures. Very advantageous for me. So here, drawn to a Ghoul Razor. Obviously, that's going to be pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and Faithless Looting first. Go ahead and drop the Butcher Ghoul and the Silent Departure in there. Can get good value out of both of those in the graveyard. Play the Ghoul Raiser, and now I can... it would have been, unfortunately it's random. Would have been great if I'd been able to pick, but the Butcher Ghoul will be just fine. Gives me a good blocker. And certainly continues to give me some value there. Obviously, the Stitch Drake would have been much better. So I will hit with my Stitch Drake again, and go ahead and play the Butcher Ghoul out, and pass the turn back. On my opponent's turn, he's got another Wall of Fire, along with a Blood Crazed Neonate, which really is not going to be great for him. I'm going to be able to block that with the Butcher Ghoul. Go ahead and play the Forbidden Alchemy. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and use the Silent Departure on the Wall of Fire, just keeping that out of the way, because that allows me to swing in with everything here. Oh, interesting. I think in retrospect, I should have attacked with everything there. I think that would have been better, force him to do some trading, but that's fine with me. Having some trouble clicking through here. Alright, and then just pass the turn back. Is an interesting choice there. Don't really understand why I would want to Silent Departure the Wall of Fire if I'm not going to attack with everything there. I think that was kind of marginal. Obviously here, happy to block with the Butcher Ghoul, ping him down, get a 2-2, and now I'm really in good shape. My life total's high. He's going to really need something pretty special in order to take me out. Plays his Wall of Fire, is able to get a curse down, but at this point I should be able to race that without too much trouble. Drops me to 10. One of the things I think this deck needs is a little bit of life gain. Of course, in the colors I'm in, it's pretty difficult. Go ahead and play the Silent Departure. Go ahead and get that off the board. The Wall of Fire again, and now I swing in with everything. You'll obviously go ahead and block the Ghoul Raiser, and I'll drop him to 2. And now I've got, with the Fires of Undeath, I've pretty much got game. So he's got to kill me this turn, which is something that would be very, very tough for him to do. He's not able to do it, and so I take that one. Definitely as a control deck, the ability to go toe-to-toe with mono red is pretty good. So that was game 1 of round 1. I'll be back in a minute for the next game.